I'm not gonna cry. Told myself I wouldn't cry. What are we doing, boys? What are we doing? What is happening? Why the game that I love? Why is it doing this to me? I don't deserve this. The energy that I've put into this team, into this man, is unmatched. Like, we got to clip up all the montages of this guy. Like, this one hurts more than anybody else. It's like him and DJ are like a close 1-2. You can't break me any more than I'm already broken. At this point, I'm numb to this. I told y'all yesterday, they go, how do you do recruiting? It's not for the week. And I said the portal was much, much more meaner. The portal giveth, the portal taketh. And it's ripping me to shreds. Look, I mean, everyone's going to have their thoughts and opinions about it, of production and all these things. I think what makes me more lost, I thought this guy was a Gator through and through. And I'm not saying, I mean, he's not, because he left. But just the way that he carried himself, I mean, we nursed him back to health after he tore his ACL. And he did it himself. But you know what I mean? We stuck with him, rode alongside him. And then here we go. Texas A&M is the rumor. Look, I mean, that room, we've talked about the edge room. I mean, there's a ton of talent there with LJ, Sap. Maybe this means that Sap's coming back. That was, I think, a big question mark too. When Banks was that first domino to fall too, you kind of had to look around and go, look, that was a big keep. That was a big keep. And that was kind of what we started talking about yesterday with Stephen Harris, is that, look, there's a list out there that we're going to get gut punched. It wasn't a matter of will we, but when we will. And this one was the biggest one that I had on my list. I've got another one on my list. I don't even want to say the names anymore. But when you look around that room, you've got to think that PYBURN views himself as probably a number one guy on the edge. And Gums had a fantastic year, so he's asking for money. You got guys like Gums, PYBURN, Searcy, LJ, all these guys that came and had a huge impact. PYBURN was a 3-star guy, then gets injured, wasn't starting. Probably under that salary cap of a rookie, right? Then has a monstrous year. He's going, kind of like a Jacoby Jackson situation, like we said, where he's going to ask for day one money. But we've got guys like Sap and that LJ being a 5-star guy, more upside because he's got more time under his belt left, right? PYBURN only has a year left. A guy like Woods coming in. Look, it's the game we're in. It sucks. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know. I'm trying to make it make sense for myself. I'm not trying to, but I'm trying to, like, again, if he says, again, the way that he carried himself, true orange and blue, true Gator guy. But it comes to a point where it's like, look, you're paying me, let's say $100,000, and I'm being offered $750,000 to go elsewhere, and you only offer me $300,000. That's I don't know. I'm guessing that would be the only thing that makes sense to me, because again, I believe he was a Gator true and true, but it's like, I've got to make a business decision at the end of the day. And people are like, well, we have the money. Where's the $27 million? This is what I also said. I said, look, it's you want to go out and get 5-star recruits. You want to go do all these things. I just don't think the money is there. But Rob says, I think Gums and PYBURN are overrated, both effort sack guys. I want a true bona fide pass rusher. You can make that argument. Look, like there's just a lot of passion playing from those guys. Again, big energy bug, right? I mean, that's what we got, at least from the fans. Somebody said Shelton's gonna be dressed up as a Challenger today instead of a spacesuit. Look, my thing is that you move on. Famous says, in all honesty, that's replaceable. Love his energy, but it's replaceable. It is. Look, for me, it's a personal thing. Loved watching him play with somebody that I thought was the Gator. What's funny is my buddy literally called me 20 minutes ago. We hung up. He goes, PYBURN's not going anywhere. I'm buying his jersey. He's a Gator for life. And 5 minutes later, it broke. And I go, you're dead to me. Okay? Don't call me ever again, because you ruined this. So it's just a fan favorite of mine. Again, when you lose somebody like a Trevor Etienne and a Princely last year, who obviously were big contributors, it's always replaceable. I still think the biggest one that it's very hard to replace, and you're seeing a lot of teams now, is it's always going to be the quarterback, DJ Lagway. So I'm not going to Let me pout for just a little bit, okay? Again, this one affects me because he was one of my personal favorite Gators. And it's the new age where it's hard to adjust, right? I was like, man, this guy's going to be a Gator through and through. We were talking about it yesterday with Stephen Harris about having a legacy, about how important that is. Like, this guy would have left Florida and had been respected and appreciated and carried on, where you see the PYBURN jerseys for years on. And I tell myself, like, that's where we're losing that. And that's what bothers me more than anything, right? Like, it is what it is. Like I said, I think the talent in that room is there's plenty of it. We had plenty of it this year. We heard Nate Pierce say, like, this room. I mean, think about Justice Boone. Had the number 1 jersey. That was his spot, completely shuffled down the line, right? A lot of these guys were coming in. Again, TJ Searcy was somebody that I said yesterday, but off the air, that I will be okay with losing. And even still, I think Harris was like, no, he'd rather keep him, just because, again, all these guys were fantastic. I think with PYBURN, what we know that he brought to the table was just his energy, his love. We thought his love for the Florida Gators. But deep. And it is what it is. Yeah, look, I'm over here trolling FSU loses on Luke Kromohoke, where people are losing their guys, and I'm laughing at them, and then we go and lose this. Maybe I should hush. Maybe I should hush. PYBURN's dead to me like my ex-wife. Yeah, this is tough, man. This is tough. The roster, look, we want a roster cap. When that happens, that's gonna affect a lot of this too, right? Because we want it now because we see all these teams buying players, but you gotta. What we really need is just the contract. I think you have a rookie contract, and then there's got to be. Hopefully, we could try to decide 2-year things. I don't know. I did not see his Instagram story. What did it say? Gator Gang says, remember, also entering the portal doesn't mean they're leaving. It means they have the other teams reach out. 100%. This is very true. Just because he's entered doesn't mean he's gone. But again, other teams have already reached out, right? So, spill the beans, bro. Who else is coming down? I don't know. I don't know any other names. This name I did hear. I did hear that he was asking for a lot. He was being sought after, and the money that he was asking for was a lot. Shamar James been tossed around on the timeline. I don't know if that's another one. It could be. But again, I think that we want to say no loyalty, and I get it. But again, if I would assume it's not like. A loyalty thing would be like, hey, they're offering me $750, but we can give you $5. Like, take a $200,000 pay cut to come stick with us and go for a run. I would hope that the pay cut is like, hey, they're offering me $800 and you're only giving me $250. That's $500,000 of a difference. Like, you got to meet me somewhere, and that's where it is, right? Tell us who you think. I don't know, to be honest with you. PYBURN was, I thought, like, kind of probably a first base. If I had a guess, I would think maybe Shamar could be another one, just because that's another room that's really thick with a lot of talent, with the pup, the Aaron Childs, Ty Jackson's a really, really good linebacker, Miles Graham. These young guys are going to ask for more. They stepped up a lot. Jaden Robinson. That room is thick. That room, it symbolizes kind of what the edge room is. And you've got a guy in their last year that's going to want starter one money. Shamar James is going to ask for that. And we've got guys that are up and coming that can probably will take that spot probably throughout the year. So that's how I would look at that. A guy that I love, kind of a Gator through and through, but when you look at the grand scheme of things, that's how it kind of shapes out. But again, PYBURN going into his senior year, you got somebody like an LJ coming up. TJ Searcy has 2 more years under his belt, I believe. Gums is kind of similar, but he was probably going to be a little bit cheaper just because of I don't know. You pick and choose who you want. But Gums is a freak. I love me some Gums too, so that could be a something to think about. I just thought his love for the Gators would overcome those things, but again, a kid that was a 3-star recruit. I remember, he wasn't being sought after Florida. Billy comes in, picks him up at the end, scoops that late there. Probably didn't get paid much at all. Low on the totem pole, and has a great breakout year and is getting thrown money at him that is hard to imagine. And you got to think too, these kids like him, he's looking around and he's seeing everyone else getting paid. He's seeing guys come in later on. I'm sure LJ got a pretty penny as a 5-star recruit. I'm sure, Banks just got paid pretty well. He's seen all these guys, and again, him being how low he was coming in, like, hey, what's up? I'm the heart and soul here, and I'm not getting treated like it. It's tough. It's tough. We're all sitting here saying I would never, but dude, it's tough. Again, personally wise, I hate it. From a production standpoint, it's not. This by far stings more than anybody that we've lost up until this point. Going back to over Etienne, Prince, like not even close. There's only one other guy. Again, DJ would crush me as well, and another one would probably be like a Gates would be the next one that would crush me. I can't think of any. I don't want to think of any more right now, to be honest with you. Hello, somebody says, remember Jack starred in a great UA video after the LSU and sad to see him go. Yeah, it is tough to see him go. 100%. Sean Allen's your next man up. Totally agree. 11 months of membership. Thank you, man, for your 11 months of membership. Look, I think that, a position that is replaceable, very much so. Couldn't agree more. But doesn't mean that I'm just going to handle it. This one cuts to the bone. I'm physically sick looking at the title. I am too, bro. Dude, I can't fathom it. Can't fathom it. Yeah, well, look, and DJ, those are guys that are, you've got to, those are priorities. So when you look kind of around in the situation of what's a priority, those guys are. I think edge rushers, though, I think they're a hot commodity. Somebody I think of like a Will Anderson, who plays for the Houston Texans. First round draft pick for them. He has been an absolute menace in the NFL. He's been fun to watch. So I believe edge rushers are very impactful. But again, you've got a Sapp and LJ, and you got Woods coming. Again, that room isn't thin by any stretch. With PYBURN, Sapp, and LJ, I mean, we and you're keeping Banks, and if maybe we get the silver kid from Kentucky. He's there today and tomorrow, right? Maybe there's money trying to get there. I mean, that is an all-star lineup. And I'm not saying it can't be done, but again, all those guys are going to want day one starter, like the cream of the crop payout, and it's just not reasonable. It's not feasible. And again, everyone's like, just pay. It's like, you can't just, it ebbs and flows. I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not in the war room doing the finances, but, pay the kid that deserves it. And again, we say pay the kid, but then like let's say it's $1 million, right? Again, I don't know how that kind of plays out, but the kid from who just stayed at was it Roberts, I believe, or what's his name? The kid from South Carolina. He's getting paid $1 million. Now, if he's asking for $1 million, Sapp's asking for $1 million. You got LJ McCray that's going to ask for $1 million. TJ Searcy's asking for $500,000. I mean, there's $4 million. Banks probably asked for $1 million and 1.5. There's $8-10 million in just your defensive line alone. You don't think DJ's getting $1 million? And if you're thinking, well, that's not a lot, okay, well, Ohio State's paying $19 million. That was the most ever paid, and they lost to Michigan. So where do you go with it? I don't know. I don't have the answer for us. I don't. I think it's hard to even match it to the pros, because when you guys got come in on rookie contracts like you would a rookie, like a recruit, they have them for 4 years. Well, you don't sign a rookie contract as a recruit for 4 years. You sign it for a year. So if you crush it in your freshman year, then you're definitely going to ask for more. And then you sign 1 more year contract. You don't sign 3 more years after that, because the school doesn't want to get caught into that too. So it's much different than the NFL, because you can at least get guys, you can get them for reasonable, or you can overpay, but you can at least lock them down and then focus on where you spend your money. We don't have, that isn't the case right now for college football. It's year to year. Everyone's on a 1-year contract. So you guys got ups and downs. You have loyalty. You won't have loyalty. I don't know. It needs to be a salary cap just like the NFL, which, look, that will help, but these things will continue to happen even with that, because yes and no, because other schools won't be able to spend, right? That's kind of like the pushback a little bit, but what they're asking for is still the factor. Just because there's a salary cap doesn't mean it's going to fix what players are asking for. Yeah, you need tags. You need to be able to like, hey, like in the sophomore year, there has to be kind of like a middle ground of like, hey, we're going to invest in you. Here's the expectation. Here are these things, so they don't just kind of get lazy on it. Yeah, on the bright side, Lou Chromohoke. I mean, FSU's kind of having a day themselves, but Doesn't make me feel any better. Doesn't make me feel any better. 44, not even all the plus the room is stacked. Who cares? And look, I don't disagree. I think the room is going to be okay. But again, personally, love the guy, love the energy. There was things on the stat sheet that you couldn't mimic. $5. I like Jack because he does the little things right. He started our improvement as a defense. Yeah, I think that's the thing is that he just, again, this guy was a 3-star guy that grinded, that worked his way to be there. Like I respect and appreciate someone like that. Harris says, no one was talking about Jack. I was, Steven. Before the season, he's earned the bag, but not worth it here, depending on the amount. He might have outplayed our budget. He's one of those surprise players that raise their stocks. 100%. The guy was coming off of an ACL injury last year. So, yeah, we were kind of talking about him of like, hey, like he's going to be a good backup guy. That's how the conversation was. Not like, hey, the heart of it. Right? So that's something to think about us too, is like, went from no joke, probably $100,000 player. I'm guessing, I don't know the numbers, to close to $1 million. The number one edge player in the country at South Carolina got 1 to 1.5. Jack 100% moved his way up to that 750, 800 mark. And and Sapp did too. And LJ McCray is somebody that you want to keep because of the youth, because of the potential production that he can bring to the table. You're bringing in a 4-star guy from Penn State that has the upside of the same. There's just so much there. You never know. I think we'll run around in circles trying to figure out, guys. If you're sitting at a table and one bag has 300,000, the other one has 600, you tell me what bag you grab. Yeah, one bag has 200K, another bag has 800K. I love Florida, but financially for your family, like that's life-changing money. And I argue the fact of like, hey, you got to go to the end. It's tough. It's always money. It's always money, boys. That's the world we're living in right now. We as fans, we preach sticking to the orange and blue and sticking to the pride, but you've seen it with the NFL and it's coming through now. I don't know. I wonder if next year Jack chases after a random fan who told him he should have stayed. Yeah, Jacksonville kid. Yeah, for 800K, I'll never watch another game. Oh, man. That's funny. I agree, Sheldon. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. I mean, again, there's just 2 schools you can't go to. And other than that, I mean, wish him not the best. Hopefully he goes out there and crushes it as long as it's not us. Yeah, smells like A&M money. Well, look, I tried to tell you guys this the other day that there is a difference between oil money and Florida money. But it is what it is. Look, you got to put, I think, to make, and look, I'm telling you this because I'm trying to help myself wrap my head around it. We talked about it last night with Jacoby Jackson. I think we love and appreciate what Jacoby did this year. But we've also know that the room is just so stacked that we were justifying Jacoby leaving, right? And we said, like, look, Jacoby coming into this was a third back. We heard Harris talk about great things, what he did, what he saw. Hey, me, Frank Gore, think he plays really well. And he lived up to that and really earned his ability, a JUCO guy. Nobody was looking at him, right? Comes in, grinds it out, and truly is probably going to be looked at as a number 1 back at maybe not as a power 4, but maybe like a UNC or like a Syracuse, where Jacoby can go and be that guy and get running back 1 money. We applaud that. PYBURN fits that mold to a T. Now, he brought more to the team just because of his energy and his charisma, and that's where we fell in love with him more. But from a production standpoint, money-wise, PYBURN is what Jacoby was to the running back room. We were really excited about having him on the team, thought he was going to be a great asset, outplayed what his expectation was, which we appreciate it. We love it. But now it's like you've outgrown what which we love, but now we're going after these things, and like you're also now looking at us of like, okay, I'm up in the same category, and we've already kind of attributed this to these guys. So again, it hurts more because of the personality side of it, but when you look at the kind of the same thing, that's how I'm kind of trying to justify it for myself. And honestly, Shamar kind of fits in that same boat. I mean, you look around, that linebacker room kind of started to gobble him up a little bit. And I'm not saying he's leaving, but again, somebody asked me like, hey, do we see other ones? That's another room that's thick with talent that guys are going to ask for top tier money because of their production. And so you've got to pick where you're going to go. And so that's what it is. That's what it is. They've got to figure something. It's a business, and that's what it is. Again, we know that the sport that we love has changed, and that's where it is. I want to see, before we wrap this up really quick here, I do want to see where he ranks in the portal. It will be interesting if he's in there already. Let me refresh this. Jack's 904, $2. I just got here to say it's not true. It is true. It's not a scam. This is true. Very true, boys. Hey, real quick, while I'm looking him up, in other news, given the show is brought to you by PrizePicks, this hit last night. I'm back on a heater, okay? We had, obviously, Jamar, who had, I think, 177 yards receiving last night, so he definitely had more than 83. My man Brandon won me my fantasy game, had more than 1.5, and Chase had a receiving touchdown, so he had more than half. So this was a locked in. If you guys were able to follow along, you got your money's worth by using the app PrizePicks. So boys and girls, rocking PrizePicks all week long, even during the side times. Be sure to check out PrizePicks. Download the app. Use the code HIGHTOP. When you play your first $5, you get back $50 to play with. Free money. $5, you get 50. And if you would have followed along with your $5, you'd have had an extra little bit of cheddar plus the 50 you've been rocking and rolling. Could have had some fun these next couple of weeks with obviously the playoffs, the bowl games. It's going to be a great time to be utilizing PrizePicks. And what's fantastic, I keep telling you again, the money's within your account within 15 minutes after winning. So it's there as soon as you win. So once it processes, they get it rocked and loaded. You're there to go. You can put it back in. So Army Navy's this week. Be a fun one to look at. But again, download the app PrizePicks. Use the code HIGHTOP. PrizePicks, run your game. Now, let me see if old PYBURN has been entered into here. I would love to see where they rank him, how many stars they have him at now. Also, too, I was looking at, again, these are all just speculations, but the Silver Kid from Kentucky, they kind of have their predictions, right? Like their crystal balls. Florida leads the way right now. Again, we've seen that before, but that's a promising look. Let me double check here. Yeah, Florida's at 30.8, Michigan's at 26.9. So that could make it a little bit better if that were to happen. I'm not saying it will. I don't know if they've entered him in yet because I don't think he'd be this low. But yeah, these are all 3-star guys. I would think that he's higher than this. The reason I want to see how they're viewing him, because let's say they have him as a 4-star going into the portal, that would make what I'm saying true, right? That, hey, the value of him has increased dramatically. So I'll keep an eye on that, and we'll see. Let me see if maybe he's under the Florida team, and I can find him that way. It's on 3's website. I know you guys get frustrated with that, but they do a good job with keeping up with the portal news. Let's see here. It's fun to watch. Any updates on Silver? No, he's there today. So they don't have anybody registered for Florida yet. I want into the portal, boys. I'm here to the end. Ride or die, baby. Ride or die. I'm not going nowhere. So this is just this is part of the game now. It's another thing we have to deal with. What'd Eddie say? So he's not in there yet. I will keep an eye on it. We'll know more probably later today. We might have another show, depending on how things go today. But yeah, are you not entertained? Be sure to smash the like button. Subscribe. We're almost at 24,000 subs, which is pretty cool. Let me see. I just got a text message. Yeah. So I will. Yeah, I think it'll be cool to see how On3 views him. And again, that will give us a better justification, I think, of understanding, how he was viewed. So we move on to the next one. I'm a firm believer in that. Next guy up. It sucks, but listen, I'm a Braves fan. I had to watch Kimbrel leave. I was part of the dismantling, so my heart's been broken by sports before. But you choose to be the fan of the team. Players are just a piece of it, and so it's just kind of. Like in life, right? You're born with a life. You have kind of your centerpiece, and there's people that come in and out of it, but your focus is this. Focus is always the orange and blue. And that's what it is, boys and girls. This is for the fan base. We come together even stronger. We rally together, we stick together, and we support the boys that stick along, and pray for the other ones that leave to go and do well. Unless you choose some wrong schools, then we're going to give you shit. But all in all, it is what it is. Yeah, can't be surprised or shocked anymore. It is what it is, boys. Let me get the sad music while I close this thing out. No, I can't do that. All right, let's go, boys. Y'all be good. If anything else breaks, we'll be here. Be sure to have the bell turned on because it seems like it's going to be a busy week. I told you it would be. Hopefully we can get some good news out of this too. Hopefully we can counter all this with good, bad, ugly, and different. I'll see y'all boys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.